to the ship show every single day. A new flavor of fuckery, 'cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, hey, got the fuck. And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, boulder, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery.
Hello, everyone. Oop, I need to get up and close my door real quick. There we go. Anywho. I don't know who will be watching this on the playback, but I hope you're doing good today. I need to clean off my computer monitor. Well, we don't have a whole bunch of stories to cover today. I actually had tried to find more, but I was just kind of like, eh. So it won't be too bad. Oh, hello, Mr. Cheatwood. How are you, sugar? I'm glad you're here. What do I got over here? I really don't need my email open. Okay. Anywho, aw, you're such a doll. Maybe starting at 6 was not a good idea. Apparently 7 seems to be just right. I'm noticing if I start other than like 7 and like, eh. But anywho, my drink. All right. Let's get started. So this constant article is from the Times of Israel. So I try to look a little bit of everything. So a report: Saudi Crown Prince said he fears assassination over Israel normalization. Well, I mean, I can see it happening. Oh, get my microphone a little closer. Anyway. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman reportedly told visiting U.S. lawmakers that he fears being assassinated over his pursuit of normalization with Israel. It's kind of a lay down with dogs get fleas kind of thing, I reckon. According to a Politico report published on Wednesday, citing 3 people briefed on the conversation, the Crown Prince indicated that he still intends to move ahead with forging ties with the Jewish state, though he fears it will cost him his life. I mean, Bin Salman, commonly referred to as MBS, sounds like a stomach disorder, reportedly at least once referenced the assassination of Egyptian President Anwar Sadat. Well, that's been a long time. Who was shot dead by Islamic terrorists in 1981. Yeah, okay. I was going to say, I recognize that name. 2 years ago, after he signed a peace agreement with Israel. MBS asked his, I don't know what that is. Interlocutors? I don't know what that word is. I don't know what it means. I'm sorry. But he asked somebody what the U.S. had done to protect Sadat after the landmark peace deal. The Crown Prince was said to have cited the risk of assassination in explaining why any normalization deal between the Rahidah and Jerusalem must include a true path to a Palestinian state, something the current Israeli government opposes. Yeah. Well, yeah, anytime there's a peace deal, it means that Israel isn't supposed to do anything else, and they don't like that. Anytime someone has tried to come up with a peace deal, they ended up dead. So, now, 1981 is not the only time. And sometimes I wonder if it really was Islamic terrorists, to be honest. Sometimes I wonder if it's not like Mossad trying to make Muslims look bad. But anyway, the Crown Prince was said to have cited the risk of assassination and explaining why any normalization... Oh, I already covered that. Something that... All right. Let me scroll down. The way he put it, Saudis cared very deeply about this, and the street throughout the Middle East cares deeply about this. And my tenure as the keeper of the holy sites of Islam will not be secure if I don't address what is the most pressing issue of justice in our region. A source familiar with the conversation was quoted to say by Politico. Nevertheless, the report said that MBS appeared intent on striking a mega deal with the U.S. and Israel, and he sees it as crucial to the country's future. It's for money, and because nobody wants to be on the receiving end of America and Israel's foreign policy. What is it said in that movie, The Mummy? It's better to be on the right-hand side of the devil than in his path. That's probably why. But yeah, anytime someone has tried to bring peace, bad things happen. You got Anwar Sadat here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. There was another prime minister of Israel who wanted a two-state solution, and he was assassinated. And that assassin was encouraged by Netanyahu. And of course, that's also why I forget his name off the top of my head, but the guy who was leader of PLO that was killed in like 2006. Anyway, let's see. It's not clear to discuss the political side of sources in the U.S. Congress have said that the possibility of forging a Israel-Saudi normalization deal before November's presidential election has been all but shut, with no time for the Senate to ratify a U.S.-Saudi component of the deal before its recess. Yeah. Yeah, writing in a column Politico revealing conversations, the news outlet's senior foreign affairs correspondent Nassal Tusi suggested that the Crown Prince was saying that his life was in danger to push the U.S. officials to raise pressure on Israel to bend to the deal he likes. Maybe. Anybody who's tried for a two-state solution ends up dead. So, I think Crown Prince probably is going to end up probably poisoned or something. Anyway, let's take a look at this real quick. All right, so this guy, Major General Joel Vowell, I guess that he's discussing why the Middle East situation matters. So let's see if we can make this bigger, make the captions bigger. There we go. That way you can read it, because Honestly, did not think this interview was going to last 18 minutes. So. I can't help but be a jerk about this because he was talking about the threat to U.S. soldiers. It's like, well, maybe we shouldn't be in countries that we have no business being in. But just in case anybody has the patience to sit through all that, I'll put the link in that in the chat. Oh my goodness. Hello, John the Beagle Dad. I have something there. Oh, okay. I had never heard that word, or maybe I haven't seen it written down before, so I had no idea. Ah, glad to see you're just chilling. Oh, lots of hugs, Burr. Welcome, darling. Yeah, when I saved that as a headline for us to look at, I didn't realize it was going to be like an 18-minute interview. I'm not trying to do that to anybody. Whew. Y'all can look at. I think you might have to turn it up because my little thing is reacting like I'm getting sound. That's not good. I hope it gets fixed. All right, let's close that. The Wagner Group again. God almighty. Wagner Group faces heavy losses in Africa. Ukraine denies involvement. I'm sure they do. That's why you have mercenary groups, so you can deny your involvement by sending someone else. Fuck. How the hell they get around in Africa for? As many as 84 Russian mercenaries from the Wagner Group were reported to have died during clashes in near Tinzaouaten in Africa. Shortly after Russia's biggest defeat in Africa, Ukraine was accused of being complicit in the massacre. However, these reports were denied by the spokesman for the Turagay rebels. I don't know who they are. Let's go find out real quick. Oh. All right. 2012, the Turagay rebels was the early phase of the Mali War. From January to April 2012, the war was waged against the Malian government by rebels with the goal of attaining independence in the region of Mali, known as our. I really feel like it doesn't really tell me a lot. I still don't. Yeah. Anyway. Honestly, I don't trust anything the Ukraine says. The spokesman for the Tuareg rebels from the Alliance for Sustainable Peace, the rebels from the Alliance for Sustainable Peace. Okay. Mohammed Ramadan, because I can't pronounce his middle name, categorically denied receiving any support from Ukraine during the conflict, where their forces defeated the Malian army and Russian mercenaries from the former Wagner Group. We can clearly say that we've received no outside help for the fighting at the Tinzaouaten. No, we have not received any assistance from Ukraine. I mean, it's kind of weird that Russia would be messing around in Africa right now. Let's see. Statements by the representative for Ukrainian military intelligence in early August indicate possible Ukrainian support for the Tuaregs, led to the government of Mali, led by the military junta, and the allied government of Niger, cutting diplomatic ties with Ukraine. Despite denials from the Ukrainian Ministry for Foreign Affairs regarding the conflict. I really think they're all fucking lying. Let's be honest. Ukraine is like skeezy little. They'll do anything for money, so I don't trust them. And in some of our local news, Superintendent Ryan Walters. So now there's even Republicans lining up to try to impeach him. Only like 10 or 15 of them, I think. Might be more. I don't know. But apparently, people are wondering where some money went. Because apparently, there's like some school funding, I guess. And any money you don't use that year gets rolled over to another year. And I guess some teachers checked, and the money starting the school year was zero. And so I think that's part of what's going on right now. But now it seems that Ryan Walters is calling for his own impeachment. And I guess he's telling him, if you're going to take me to court, then hurry up and take me to court. Do it now. Which I think is kind of, and they're saying it's weird. And that is kind of weird. To be honest, I mean, I guess it's taking the fight to them, but it's fucking strange. I don't know. Some Oklahoma Democrats say they were left speechless and confused by State Superintendent Ryan Walters calling for his own impeachment proceedings. Well, I mean, technically, if you go to court, you get a chance to show your evidence. So it just sounds weird the way he's saying it, but yeah. Walters made an announcement during a press conference with the media at the Capitol, claiming calls to impeach him were at all motivated by the House Speaker Charles McCall's political ambition for governor. Yeah, I didn't know that Charles McCall was going to go for governor, but judging by the way that Ryan Walters has been campaigning ever since he was campaigning for state superintendent, he never stopped campaigning. He was always, showboating and always acting like he's on the campaign trail instead of buckling down and doing more of his own work. He really just sees superintendent as a stepping stone toward trying to be in charge of the state. That's really what it is. Scroll down a little bit. It's important to note that neither McCall or Walters have announced they're running for 2026. Well, I feel like they kind of said it without saying it, because what governor's race would he be, ambushing if they weren't running? The speaker wants to impeach me for political advantage in the 2026 governor's race. So that's the start of the impeachment proceedings. Munson said that Walters' announcement was unprecedented. This is not something I think any of us in Oklahoma politics have seen, said Munson. A statewide elected official calling for his own impeachment, but here we are. Dolan said that the announcement disturbed him. It was weird, and it was an emotional attempt to continue distracting from what we really need to do, which is investigate. Yeah, because they're trying to investigate him, and he's trying to Walters is trying to stonewall them. So he's calling for impeachment proceedings instead of just accepting an investigation. It's a very strange situation. I think Ryan Walters is trying to make himself look like a martyr, because if they don't succeed in doing this, then he wins. If it looks like they're all coming down on him and trying to crucify him, he can be a political martyr, and he's hoping it'll help catapult him into the governor's office. I think that's the move he's trying to make. The topic of calling for impeachment proceedings is nothing new for the House Democrats. Last week, they called on Republican supermajority to issue a special bipartisan committee to investigate Walters for the 5th time. Previous calls to the same investigation were made in May of 2024, March of 2024, December of 2023, and August of 2023. Jesus. Democrats say they want to know how Walters has handled funds allotted to the school districts and verify whether or not his actions rise to the level of impeachment. So if he didn't steal the money, he should have no problem showing the fucking receipts. So I think he's making some kind of weird Hail Mary move to try to avoid that. We have been asking for this for over a year now, and we stand firm and committed in our request because we believe it's our job to hold the superintendent accountable. I agree. Dolans echoed Munson's statement and criticized the amount of public Republican infighting recently, saying that the students and teachers should be the priority. He also criticized Walters for linking potential impeachment proceedings to any candidate's political ambitions. Honestly, I feel like it's saying more about Walters than anything, but anytime someone is trying to hold him accountable or ask for some type of transparency, all of a sudden he plays the victim and makes it into a personal attack that has nothing to do with it. Munson called the public displays that led to Friday's news conference dysfunctional and said that it's not an example of an elected leaders doing the job they're elected to do. Munson said that she wouldn't speculate on Walters or McCall's political ambitions, bringing the focus back to education. Who knows what they are planning to do with their future, said Munson. There is always rumors, but I know we are living in 2024 today, and the focus right now should be on our public schools, where our tax dollars are going, and make sure that we are protecting our students and teachers. I agree. And honestly, if money is disappearing and he doesn't want to, like, there wouldn't be an investigation if he basically just handed over the receipts basically to the committee or whatever. It showed what the money has gone to. It shouldn't be a problem. So apparently a shit ton of money is missing. And this isn't the first time he's been involved with money going missing. It's not his first time with it. So, whatever. And this one, what those who served with them say about the VP's nominee's time in the military? Hopefully, this is not too long of an article, but this should be fun. Retired Staff Sergeant Ryan Marty enlisted in the Army National Guard before he even graduated high school. Just like his football coach and his teacher, future Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, another one of Walz's former students, Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Jacqua. Oh, okay. We read about him already. When it was talking about VP nominees, I thought they were going to talk about J.D. Vance. So I was like, oh, cool. We get to hear. Oh, are they talking about both of them? Oh, okay. Guess they are talking about both of them. All right. Future Governor Tim Walz. Another of Walz's former students, Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Jacqua, also joined the Guard after graduating Mankato West High School in southern Minnesota. Both told CNN that the example that Walz set in the classroom and on the football field was influential in their decision to join him as a soldier in the National Guard. As a teacher, I would say he definitely inspired me, said Marty, who retired from the Guard in 2021. He recruited me into the National Guard along with my brother and some other students I know. Walz enlisted at 17 and served 24 years in the National Guard before retiring in 2005 to run for Congress, launching a political career that ultimately led to his selection as a Democrat nominee for vice president. Like Walz, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance enlisted in the military after high school, spending 4 years in the Marines and serving a tour in Iraq in 2005 as a combat correspondent. Even back then, his fellow Marines thought Vance, now Republican vice president nominee, was destined for a career in politics. We all knew one day he'd run for office, retired Major Sean Haney, who was Vance's officer in charge at Cherry Point, North Carolina. He always did a great job where he was at, but always looked forward to the next thing. While they're on opposite sides of the political spectrum, Walz and Vance share a key attribute that is increasingly rare in politics. For the first time in 30 years, two enlisted military veterans will square off as their party's prospective vice president candidate. Both Vance and Walz enlisted in the military as a springboard attending college with the help of the GI Bill. Signs of their political aspirations, talent, and leadership skills were clearly evident. Oh, this just doesn't. I don't know. I thought this was going to be more of an interesting article. That was fucking dull. I'll check. Hmm. Maybe this is going to be a short one because I don't know. Oh dear. They're saying that Putin has lost and referring to it as it will end in public humiliation. Somehow I don't think Putin's going to let that fly, to be honest. Oh well. I thought more would be going on. Hello, Dabion. Oh, good. The sound works. Awesome. Oh, well, lots of hugs. We're glad you were here. Oh, I did not really watch it. Watching really gruesome horror movies is not my thing, but I just like playing like free movies for people, so I just left it to play and let Jedi Bill or Outlaw Bill, I guess, and Raquel hang out on the stream. And Jedi, I'm gonna just call him Jedi Bill. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I've known him for like 4 years with that name. Anyway, but he said the movie was absolutely terrible. He's super glad he did not spend like $20 to go see it. uh, he said there was too many member berries going on that reminded him of the first Aliens, which, I mean, if it was so successful, I can see them kind of like borrowing a little bit here and there to remind people of that. So, like, I get that. I think it's wild they had, like, well, people don't like it when you give away stuff, but but personally, I think it was kind of weird. Like, I mean, obviously it's gonna be a weird movie, but I saw little bits and pieces of it, and yeah, it seemed like it was like an amalgamation of the other Aliens movies, and the little bit I saw is kind of but I didn't really give it much of a watch, so I would be good at really giving a review. Anywho, I will try to have more interesting headlines next time because that's kind of meh. I'm just like, Like, I thought I had some better shit lined up, and I did not, apparently. Because, like I said, I usually just look at the headlines and think, hey, that sounds like fun. We can read it together. So, like, I'm learning the stuff when the same time y'all are, like, you know. So that way it's a new surprise for both of us. So I didn't realize that, like, 2 of those articles were going to be kind of like a 20-minute interview with one, and another one that's just doesn't seem to have a lot of like spice going on in it. I was like, all right, shit. But anywho, I do appreciate y'all coming by. Hugs to Dabion and Burr and Matt Cheatwood and Daniel Sports Highlights and John the Beagle Dad. Oh no, Dollar Craig. That's cute. But I thought I'd be going for longer, but I don't think I didn't prepare very well today. I'm gonna be honest. I think that's kind of what that came down to. I thought I had a few more articles. I thought I had a little more interesting shit to talk about, but it seems kind of. Anyway, I send y'all lots of hugs, and I will try to have more interesting headlines, better than what I picked this time. This time I'll try to glance through it a little bit just to see if it's actually interesting, and not like 20-minute fucking interviews, which isn't necessarily bad, but it's not. It just makes for a weird 20-minute quiet spot in the live stream. So, anywho, lots of hugs to everybody. Oh, don't really have that anymore. And I guess I'll get the little outro going, and I shall see y'all later. Mwah.
Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. 'Cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, hey, got the fuck. And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous